Hey everyone, and welcome back to Old Charles the channel, where we dig into the stories and the real value of the coins you have in your pocket or tucked away in that old jar. Today, we're tackling a question I get all the time. Alex, I found a 1977 quarter. Is it worth a fortune? Should I be getting it graded? It's a coin that millions and millions of us have handled. It's from the era of disco, Star Wars, and the Carter administration. But does this piece of 70s history hold a secret treasure? We're going to dive deep into the 1977 Washington quarter, uncover its mysteries, and give you the definitive answer on its value. First, let's set the stage. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1977, it was a well-established design, created by sculptor John Flanagan. The key thing to remember about 1977 is this. There are no silver quarters from this year for circulation. The last 40% silver quarters for the public were minted in 1964. So, every single 1977 quarter you find in loose change is made of a clad composition. That's right, it's a sandwich of copper-nickel layers on the outside, with a solid copper core. This makes the coin durable, but it also means its intrinsic metal value is relatively low. Only about 4 to 5 cents as of this recording. So, if the metal isn't valuable, what could make it special? Two words: condition and varieties. Let's be brutally honest. The vast, and I mean vast, majority of 1977 quarters are worth exactly 25 cents. The U.S. Mint produced over 1.6 billion of these coins across its 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mintmark; Denver, D mintmark; and San Francisco, S mintmark. See those numbers? They are astronomical. Because they are so common in circulated condition, that means worn, with loss of detail on Washington's hair and the eagles' feathers, they have no numismatic premium. Your pocket change 1977 quarter is just that, pocket change. A typical 1977 P or 1977 D quarter in mint state 63, MS 63. Condition, that means it has a few minor bag marks, but is otherwise flawless, might be worth $2 to $5 in higher grades, like MS 66 or MS 67. The value can jump to $15, $25, or even more, because despite the high mintage, finding a coin that survived 40-plus years without a single scratch is challenging. This is where it gets exciting. While a normal 1977 quarter is common, the mint wasn't perfect. Mistakes happened. And those mistakes are what collectors will pay big bucks for. Remember that San Francisco mintage? Those were not for circulation. They were specially struck for collectors using highly polished dies and planchets, creating a brilliant, mirror-like background with frosted, cameo design elements. These were sold in proof sets. A standard 1977 S-proof in perfect PR 69 DCM, deep cameo condition is a beautiful coin and can be worth $8 to $15. But if you can find one in the top-tier grade of PR 70 DCM, the value can be over $50. The key is that perfect, flawless surface. This is a famous and popular die variety. A die is the stamp that strikes the coin. Sometimes, a small crack develops in the die, and it transfers a raised, pimple-like line onto the coin. For the BIE variety, this line appears between the B and E in WE, making it look like the word BIE. This isn't a massive fortune, but it's a cool find. A circulated 1977 BIE variety quarter might fetch $5 to $10, and an uncirculated one can be worth $20 to $40 or more to the right collector. Check all your 1977 P quarters for this. This is the holy grail for many modern coin hunters. A double die occurs when the hub, the master stamp, impresses the working die twice, slightly misaligned. This results in a distinct doubling of the date, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Now, listen closely. There are minor doubling varieties known. The one you dream of finding is a strong, obvious double die. A 1977 P with a major DDO in uncirculated condition could be worth $100 to $500 plus, depending on the strength of the doubling and the grade. These are dramatic errors. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank isn't seated correctly in the collar, resulting in a partial design. A broad strike happens when the coin isn't held in the collar at all, causing it to spread out like a pancake. The value here depends on the percentage of the off-center strike. A 5% off center might be worth $10, but a 50% off center could be $50 to $100. These are eye-catching errors that any collector would love to have. Superb uncirculated. MS67. $25 1977. S-proof. PR 69 DCM. $10 to $15 BA variety. Circulated. $5 to $10 strong double die. Uncirculated. $100 major error, off-center, etc. $50 the bottom line. Your ordinary, circulated 1977 quarter is not going to pay for a new car or even a nice dinner. Its value is in its history. But the hunt is what makes this hobby so thrilling. That jar of old coins from your grandparents? It costs you nothing to look through it carefully. You might just find an error that turns a common 25-cent piece into a $100 collectible. The 1977 quarter is a perfect example of a modern coin. It teaches us that rarity isn't just about age. It's about condition and mistakes. It connects us to a specific moment in American history and reminds us that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. It's a coin so familiar, we use it without a second thought. It buys us a gumball, airs up our tires, and starts a load of laundry. But the Washington quarter has a story that stretches back over 90 years, filled with artistic controversy, a dramatic shift from silver, and multiple design changes that reflect a changing America. Today on Coin Vault, we're going beyond the date and mint mark. We're exploring the full, fascinating history of the Washington. Main composition remained the same. The real story of this era is one of incredible consistency. For over 30 years, the design by John Flanagan remained unchanged, becoming one of the most recognized coins in the world. The mid-1960s brought a revolution to American coinage. The price of silver was soaring, and people began hoarding silver coins for their melt value. The U.S. Mint was facing a massive coin shortage. This act removed silver from our dimes and quarters. Starting in 1965, the Washington quarter was transformed into a clad coin, made of layers of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This is the quarter we know today, lighter in color and, frankly, less valuable in its metal content. This period, from 1965 to 1998, is often called the clad era. The design remained exactly the same, making it one of the longest-running, unchanged coin designs in U.S. history. It was a workhorse, produced in the billions, with no mint marks until 1968, all to rebuild the coin supply. Just as the quarter seemed to be a permanent, static fixture, the U.S. Mint launched the most successful numismatic program in history, the 50-state quarters program. From 1999 to 2008, the Mint released 5 new reverse designs each year, honoring each state in the order they ratified the Constitution or were admitted to the Union. This was a game-changer. It got the public, not just collectors, excited about coins again. People were hunting for change, buying folders, and learning about state history. The obverse of Washington was slightly modified and shrunk to make room for these stunning new reverse designs, which featured everything from the California Gold Rush to the Missouri's Lewis and Clark expedition. The program was a monumental success, minting over 34 billion coins and inspiring similar programs worldwide. After the state quarters, the Mint knew it had a good thing going. In 2009, they issued quarters for Washington, D.C., and 5 U.S. territories. Then, in 2010, they launched the America the Beautiful Quarters program, featuring national parks and other national sites from every state, territory, and district. This program ran until 2021. For the first time since 1932, the obverse portrait of Washington got a major update. The new design, by Laura Garden Fraser, was actually the recommended design for the 1932 quarter, but was rejected by the Treasury Secretary at the time. Nearly a century later, her majestic portrait of Washington finally got its place on the coin, and starting in 2022, the reverse now features new, general-issue designs celebrating American women, innovators, and other themes, while the obverse continues with Fraser's portrait. So, the next time you get a quarter in your change, take a moment to look at it. You're holding a piece of a continuous 90-year story it's a story that began as a silver commemorative, became a clad workhorse, and then transformed into a canvas for American art and history. It survived a world war, the end of silver currency, and countless design innovations. From John Flanagan classic profile To Laura Garden Fraser's triumphant return, the Washington Quarter is more than just 25 cents. It's a living, evolving monument to American numismatics. What's your favorite Washington Quarter design? The classic eagle, your home state quarter, or one of the new America the Beautiful designs? Let me know in the comments below. They are the exact same date, the same mint mark, the exact same coin. But one is worth a few cents, and the other could be worth hundreds of dollars. What is the single most important factor that creates this massive difference? It all comes down to condition. Today, we're diving deep into the world of coin grading. This is arguably the most critical skill you can learn as a collector. We'll break down the terms, explain the grading scale, and show you how to evaluate your own coins so you never undervalue a treasure again. Simply put, condition is the state of preservation of a coin. It's a measure of how much wear and tear it has sustained since it left the mint. Think of it like a classic car. A rusted-out, broken-down 1965 Mustang might be worth a few $1,000s as a parts car. But a perfectly restored, pristine, garage-kept 1965 Mustang can be worth over $100,000. It's the same model, the same year. The difference is its condition. For coins, wear isn't from miles. It's from people's fingers, from rubbing against other coins in pockets and cash registers, from environmental damage. Every bit of that wear reduces the fine details struck into the coin's surface by the mint. As those details disappear, so does the coin's value to a collector. An uncirculated coin is one that has never been used in commerce. It has no wear from being handed from person to person. These coins were typically set aside at the time they were minted, but uncirculated doesn't mean perfect. They can still have bag marks, small nicks and scratches from contact with other coins in mint bags, luster, the original, frosty or satiny surface from the minting process, and toning, natural discoloration from exposure to air over time. Proof coins are not a condition. They are a special striking process. They are made specifically for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared planchets, resulting in a magnificent mirror-like finish with frosted design elements. They are graded on a separate but similar scale, PR or PF instead of MS. A proof coin should, by definition, be in virtually perfect condition unless it was mishandled. Okay, theory is great, but how do you do it? Here's a simple process. You need a good light source and a jeweler's loupe, around 5x magnification. Don't rely on your naked eye alone. Every coin design has areas that stick out the most and wear down first. For A,